What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. And we got the top 4 in MSI figured out, which means time to preview those semifinal matchups. And the closest one on paper is, of course, G2 versus SKT, because the other one might be a little bit lopsided. But the G2 2-0'd SKT in round robin, so should be an easy, clean 3-0 sweep for G2.
Ooh, I don't know if that's the story that we should be running with here, because I tell you what, given what you did see during the group stage, of course, it is that easy to think, hey, 3-0 G2, they just completed going on here. You had them on the ropes in the group stage, but things were changing along through here in the group stage that, yes, in these individual matches, you did see a lot of the positives that G2 wanted here. A lot of this interesting composition, a lot of the individual plays, getting ahead and pushing on that pressure onto SKT, who wanted to take things slower, didn't have the best read of the meta going early into this event here, that a lot of these surprise picks could take him off here. But I tell you what, this SKT has really rounded into form here at this international event, and I think when you are looking here at this one-on-one, I think you gotta be giving the advantage, even if you do have that 2-0 group stage record, you gotta give the advantage to SKT in this one.
Yeah, remember the first time they played was the very first game of the entire tournament. So yeah, a lot has changed since that matchup, and we know SKT and LCK teams in general, when they get to that best of 5, they get a little bit of a buff. So I definitely think SKT should be favorites in this matchup, if not solely because of the organization, the name that is SKT, and of course the last 4 games that they played in the group stage were incredibly dominant. They destroyed all 4 of those matchups, including of course handing IG their first and only loss of the round robin. So yes, G2, and remember they also slumped, lost 3 in a row heading in to close out their group stage, because it looked like they were well on pace to finish second ahead of SKT, and obviously they went in completely opposite directions as the round robin closed out. But we got to take a look at these matchups. We're going to go lane by lane. Who's got the advantage? Starting in that top lane, Khan versus Wunder, and this is maybe the only one that I might say the edge goes to G2.
I think you do have to give the edge to G2 here. And this is something that, hey, you say this a couple years ago, you would be crazy to go ahead and put Wunder ahead of Khan here. But in this matchup, yes, I think right now, the way that they've been performing, the way that they have to perform for their individual teams here, Wunder does have the advantage. He has the advantage in lane and outside of lane, I would say, at this point here. I think that, yes, Wunder to take advantage here in this matchup will maybe require some attention here from Jankos in the jungle side to get it going. But if he does get a little bit of help here, I think Wunder absolutely could be the factor on the top side that G2 needs in their favor.
Yeah, you can expect Jankos and CLID to both be spending a lot of time in that top lane. But for Wunder, he's got to pick, he's going to pick some crazy champions. That's G2's main chance to win this series, is some oddball picks, and Wunder, Vayne, Pyke, whatever he wants to throw up there, he will do it. Jungle is the biggest mismatch of the series, and I think CLID has the biggest mismatch against almost anyone at this tournament, because the guy is playing at another level. He just completely smurfed in that group stage. Jankos was okay in a lot of the games, but CLID is at another level right now.
Right, that's the difference here, is that you're talking about Jankos, and it feels bad because, man, Jankos never really did anything wrong here in this group stage. Pretty steady performance throughout the most part here. But when you look at what CLID did, man, this guy is going 100 miles per hour through the jungle, doing some great pathing, showing up exactly when he needs to for his solo laners, helping them out there, securing the objectives when he needs to. He has been an absolute beast for SKT, setting the tempo, setting the pace for them in their victories here, and I expect him to be on top of his game in this series against G2.
Jungle might be the biggest mismatch, but the most exciting matchup, of course, is the mid lane, because whenever Faker's playing, it's usually the most exciting one. That last game against IG was just Faker returning to form on his champion. Ryze is owned by him and always piloted by him. Caps had some very rough performances, specifically that one against Team Liquid. Obviously, Faker is going to be favorited in this matchup, but if Caps reaches his highest of highs, maybe he can dominate a game or two.
That's what you got to talk about here. Of course, when you look at Faker, you know what you're going to be getting. You know it's going to be controlled. You know it's going to be measured play from him, and you know that there will be the damage dealt out in the end here. But when you do think about Caps into this matchup and how he's going to be tested, we have seen him, even in a high skill matchup like this, reach those high levels, get those solo kills. We have seen it, but we've also seen him play on that knife's edge where it goes too far on the other side, too aggressive, and someone like Faker, who has the discipline here, can certainly take advantage and start snowballing big time on those Titans.
His mental has gone boom against rookies sometimes. Let's see how it does against Faker in a best of 5. Let's go to the bottom lane where, again, I feel like it's a pretty big advantage for SKT. Almost opposite AD carries when you're talking about positioning in team fighting. We've talked about it countless times. Perkz has been caught out a lot. Teddy basically never gets caught out in team fights.
Absolutely. This is a smash home run here for the SKT side. Teddy into this one. This is dominating fashion that we're going to be seeing in this bottom side here. Yes, the damage numbers, I'm sure you could be looking at the two of these guys and how they would want to be team fighting. And yeah, the damage sure might be the same, but if you're watching their positioning in the team fights, absolutely worlds of difference here. Teddy is a complete pro at how he manages to dance around these team fights, always missing out on the CC and damage there and dishing it back out onto the other team. Perkz, he is very talented here and he does play well with his support, but I think we have seen at this tournament making a couple too many missteps and getting caught out at key moments, leading to some losses.
A couple of all-time great supports alongside those boys in the bottom lane in Mata and Mickey, one of the best in EU for a while. Remember how big the question mark was? I didn't think he'd be playing, but he has been. He's been pretty solid on G2, but for the amount of practice he has had, which is next to none, I don't think he's quite at the level we saw from him in Europe. And Mata definitely, with the rest of SKT, turned it on the last set of games.
Right, that is the concern here with Mickey, as we have been talking about him playing, and we were worried if he was going to be the one playing, and he's confirmed that, yeah, he's been playing, but he has been feeling pain while he's been playing, so he is playing through it. Major props for him being that warrior that he is playing through these matches, but I think in this one, when you're looking at the head-to-head in the bottom side, that's a tough one to go up against the all-time legend in Mata, and I expect with the form that he's had and alongside Teddy that it's not going to be a good day here for Perkz and Mickey in the bottom side for G2.
You smell an upset, G2? 3-0, like we said at the start?
I think this one, it's going to be a 3-0 or 3-1 for SKT. I think this one, the difference here is not that it's because your opponent is so much more inferior than you. I think that this one is just the way that these two teams play. It is going to be all-out aggression at once another on the Rift here, and I think SKT will be the ones coming out on top.
G2 gets some crazy picks. They get one game. I still think it's going to be 3-1 for SKT.